All right, everybody, welcome tonight. It is a beautiful night, and we are rocking and rolling from the Play Shield Studios. And you know, I remeasured it. It's actually 13 feet and 6 inches above South Mercer Street. We're rolling live tonight from the 16125. You guys are jumping in here. You're saying hellos. Hellos back to you. Nathan Wright, get ready for the Hope Train. Ted Link, God bless you, my friend. Rosemary Lozier, I see you in there checking in. Pam Bowman checking in from the beautiful state of North Carolina. I wonder why some of these aren't kicking through the way they're supposed to. Hello, Barbara Roth checking in from Northeast Florida. Ashley Mahalik, good evening, Pastor Greg. Karen Odell checking in from Oklahoma. Isn't that interesting? So I can see all this stuff in multiple places. But why isn't it? Oh, now it decides to try to come through. Goofy, goofy, goofy. Shirley Leventry checking in from the great state of Mississippi. Rick Powers. Good evening, PG. How about an update on your quest to a healthier you? Just for you.
See, I'm not too hungry this morning. I'll just have orange juice, bowl of cereal, stack of wheats, 3 eggs over. Make sure they ain't running out.
Right.
Bacon on the crisp side, white toast buttered, hashed brown potatoes, and coffee. Coffee.
Does my heart good to see a thin person eat.
Rick Powers, you ask and you receive. So Scale It Down's going well. Actually, I went by and saw Rick, and it's getting there. You know what? I'm at 213. So that's way from where I started at 226. But I went by and saw Rick Powers. I'm going to kick my gym membership he donated to the program to get me healthy for the winter months. And it looks like winter is already here. So that's your update. And folks, I'm sorry, but I've got to get Stephen Haywood in here. Some stuff's going on. Diana Tarleton, welcome. Greetings from Wheatland, California. Mary Fireball, guess who? From Salem, Virginia. Ro Gammon says, how's your mom? All right, so we'll give you an update on the mother, everybody. The mother had her surgery. When was her surgery? Today. It was this morning. So the doctors finally got her stabilized and good to go after a week in the hospital. So when you have a pacemaker put in, that's one of the very few surgeries that the patient must be laying completely flat and immobilized. You know, you can do other surgeries, and if it was emergency, they could stand you up or whatever, lock you in. But on a pacemaker, you have to be laid flat, and that was some of her problem there, being able to lay flat. So they got her taken care of, looking much better, got a lot of fluid off of her heart and congestive heart failure. And I can report to you today that we had a very, very successful pacemaker. So now her ticker is ticking again, and we're good to go. I'm sure she's watching from the hospital there in Erie, Pennsylvania. And I want to give a shout out to Hammett, Pennsylvania. Hammett Hospital in Erie, Pennsylvania. They did a phenomenal, phenomenal job. Everyone's very happy. Mark Rimold, God bless you. So folks, here's what's going on. There's comments coming like nonstop, and which I appreciate. But then it connects through a system to this system. And that's how I push them to the screen. That's why I'm always looking around. But all the ones that are coming aren't pushing right. Stephen Haywood, you're going to be making a visit to the Palatial Studios, and we're going to get this dialed in. Linda Cassio, God bless you. So folks, it's going to be an awesome night. Now, I want to ask all of you guys, in fact, I'm going to show you this. I don't ask too much. I enjoy doing all this. Pastor Kathy C., we love Rita, sending hugs and prayers. Thank you for that, Pastor Kathy. So we made a little great event together, everybody. Let me give you this. The YouTube channel, because we were on Facebook, YouTube, and Integrity Television. Welcome to everybody on Facebook, YouTube, and Integrity Television. Going to be an awesome 54 minutes and 40 seconds left together. But folks, we eclipsed 1,000 subscribers on the YouTube channel. Like, it went up like 500 subscribers in the last 10 days. So what that means is we're getting into some good algorithmic flows, meaning this program, our church, is really getting some good exposure out there. So I'm going to put a link in the Facebook for those of you that are watching on YouTube. Thank you. And if you have not already subscribed, let's say you just watch on YouTube, but you never subscribed, that really helps. The other things that you can do, we do together as a community, is we hit the like button and the share button. Deb, hello, PG. Well, hello to you. Good evening, everyone. Paul Kiss, Canada, and Pennsylvania. Bill Terry, thankful for Hammett Hospital in Erie, PA. Yes, they did a good job. So, you're seeing some back end stuff here. So I'm gonna drop a message in the Facebook here. If you guys wouldn't mind, when you get some time, there it is. I want to start flipping us over to YouTube even more. So if you're in that chat there, that link, don't worry about all those images you're seeing back in. That helps us. So thank you. So we've made a celebratory event. We've made it to 1,000 subscribers. And I know the peak of the night is the beverage of the night. And it is time for the beverage of the night.
Ladies and gentlemen, what you are about to witness is not only exciting and educational, but sometimes a bit risky as well. Do not try this at home. It's time for the beverage of the night.
Folks, beverage of the night tonight coming in from the birthday lady, Kim Porter. Welcome to the program. See, some of these are kicking through and some aren't. It's aggravating. Stephen Haywood. For those of you that do not know Stephen Haywood, he's the brains behind all this technical stuff. Beverage of the night tonight coming in from the birthday girl. It's wrapped in the brown paper bag with the orange tie. I have not opened it. It's been in the refrigerator in order for about a month. Ready to go. Ms. Myrna Scales bought south of Charlottesville, Virginia on Route 29. So she went to Route 29 in Virginia. And those of you down there in the Old Dominion, you know exactly where that is, as I do. But I will tell you this, Myrna Scales, it's her birthday today. I saw that somewhere. So Myrna, happy birthday to you. Okay, bought south of Charlottesville, Route 29, Virginia. All right, folks. I feel it's always the brown paper bag. You know, that's Fred Sanford with the ripple. Are you allowed to dislike supremely somebody that gives you a beverage of the night? And it's their birthday? Folks, always ask for Avery. It's so disgusting. Totally gross soda. Alien snot. You know, you would think. Karen Beatty, God bless you and welcome. Why isn't that stuff coming through? From Fredonia, AJ Bird checking in from Hallsville, North Carolina. How do I remember everybody's place? I don't know. Why would somebody... I work preparing all this stuff twice a week on Tuesdays or Fridays, and all y'all want to do is laugh at me. Alien snot. Totally disgusting. Oh my. The whiff wasn't good. You know, it's really bad. It's so bad, alien snot, that I can't even come up with a description. Usually I can describe toilet water, mud puddles, dirty creek. I got it. This has a soapy flavor. Has your guys' washing machine ever broken or had a draining issue, and for 3 or 4 days, you haven't done laundry, and then you go to the washing machine, you open it, you look in, and there is this water sitting stagnant in the bottom of the drum, and you can smell it. It's not too good. It's kind of a blend of stinky socks. It's kind of a blend of laundry detergent and trash. Folks, that basically right there is used washing machine water that's been sitting in the drum for 4 days. Would somebody please send me something tasty? I beg you. Let's go, everybody. Time to roll. Yeah, that's probably the question of the night. Wonder what the side effects of alien snot might be? I guess I'll get on a rocket ship with Elon Musk and go to the heavenlies to Mars. I don't know, but it's just sitting there in front of me, taunting me. It's really bad. Folks, tonight got a lot of stuff to look at, and I'm actually excited because it's really an interesting time. As always, we want to start, and as long as I can remember to do this, I'm always going to start until we get a firm resolution on the missionaries that have been kidnapped in Haiti. I went on just a couple of hours ago before going live, and of course, you can't find any news about it. It's just buried. There's nothing. But these missionaries are still there, 48 years old to 8 months old. Well, I guess now 35 days, it would be 9-month old. Unbelievable. 35 days. 1 Canadian and 16 Americans still captured there in Haiti, and we're doing nothing about it. So what can we do about it? We can continue to pray for them, and we can continue that God would somehow release them. What I would like to see, honestly, I think what we should do is we should pray for a Peter event where the prison doors just open, and there's nothing that the captors can do about it. And then what happens is the escaped missionaries, led divinely by the power of the Lord, escape and come back to their town of Port-au-Prince. I'm assuming that's where they're based. Knock on the door and let the testimony of something miraculous happen. So why don't we pray that something Peterish would happen like happened in the book of Acts? But I like keeping you guys updated on that because it's an interesting story that we need to pay attention to. These are missionaries. Folks, I want to jump over here. I talked about this the other night, and I tried to do a very, very fair, objective viewpoint. And this is in regard to the Reawaken American tour that happened. It's in San Antonio, Texas. It turned out to be a pretty good black eye for the church. Doesn't matter what your thoughts are, this was the wrong place for that phrase to be chanted from the platform. Completely unacceptable. Today, actually yesterday, I told you guys this was going to happen. Cornerstone Church lead pastor Matt Hagee, it's the son of John Hagee, apologized for allowing his church to host the Reawaken American tour event in its sanctuary November 11 through 13. I'm cool with that. Matthew Hagee, you are forgiven. Your father's forgiven. It is a phenomenal church. Love the teaching of Pastor John Hagee, but this was just unacceptable. And you had to be smart enough, which you guys are brilliant. You had to be smart enough to know what is coming. So just wrong place. I will show you guys this. This is actually on the Cornerstone website. Pastor Matt Hagee's statement concerning Reawaken America event. Last week, he says, I allowed an event to be held at Cornerstone Church by an outside organization. Regrettably, the organization was not properly vetted. It was not appropriate to allow this event at our church. The church is not associated with this organization and does not endorse their views. I was invited to welcome the crowd, where I thanked veterans for their service and thanked the crowd for their commitment to their faith. I deeply regret and ask forgiveness for what took place in the Cornerstone Sanctuary as a result of my oversight. In the future, Cornerstone Church will ensure that organizations using our facility are an appropriate reflection of our mission and vision. I'll be honest with you, completely accept that apology. I did, though. Hey there, Pastor Kerry, checking in from Nevada. I did want to find the video of just the opening. I wanted to see what Matt Hagee said, how it was. And folks, let me tell you something. That video was very, very difficult to find. It's not on YouTube. It's been like snuffed out. But you cannot hide from this guy right here. This guy right here can find anything. Who, me? No, not me. Bernard P. Fife.
Here at The Rock, we have two basic rules. The first rule is obey all rules.
Folks, Barney went looking, and Barney found it. I do see Julia Augustine. What happened? I'm out of the loop. And maybe others of you are out of the loop. On Tuesday, I was talking about this. I believe it's a pretty big deal, as does basically the rest of the church in America and leaders. Basically, John Hagee's church, and I've been very honorable with this, and you guys also, hosted a Reawaken American tour event. Mike Flynn, General Flynn, Mike Lindell, Pastor Greg Locke, many conspiracy theorists, nut jobs. Did I say nut jobs? Absolutely. They're nothing but a bunch of nut jobs who still think that Donald Trump's going to ride into the White House on a white horse led by trumpets and angels and the glory of God marching before him. And they just need to get off of it and go try to be a good citizen in America and lead people to Jesus and stop dividing our country. That's what was hosted at the Cornerstone Church. And Matt Hagee said, well, I didn't really know, what they're all about. We didn't vet them properly. Baloney! What rock have you been living under? Julia Augustine, why did you ask me this? What rock have you been under? You know, they're whack jobs. Good grief. Anyway, in the church, from the pulpit, from the stage, this crowd started chanting, "Let's go, Brandon." I understand. We use it as a funny phrase. It's colloquialized. It comes from the NASCAR event. But in the meaning of it, it is a very, very, very bad, unchristian-like, unhonorable, and uncaring phrase. And it was chanted in this sanctuary. Wrong place, wrong time. That's what happened. Matt Hagee has come out and apologized. I did find the video. Well, Barney did. So here it is. I want you to see it. It's okay. I gave my 2 cents there. We move on. We accept Matt Hagee's apology. It's a great church, great pastors. Let's go forward, not make these mistakes again. Here we go.
We would not be able to host this event here if we didn't have a senior pastor that had critical thinking skills, a senior pastor who believed in the Bible, the Constitution, and that a statistically manipulated fake pandemic could not cause the suspension of the First Amendment. So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the host and the lead pastor of this church. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Pastor Matt Hagee.
Hello. God bless you, and thank you for choosing to join us on this wonderful occasion here at Cornerstone. I would want first and foremost to honor and recognize individuals who have served our nation on this Veterans Day. Those of you who have given us the freedoms that we enjoy, God bless you and thank you for all that you have done. I also want to tell each and every one of you who are here how proud I am of the individual decision that you have made today. The Bible says to choose life. I've set before you life and death. Choose life. And by being here, you have made the conscious decision to live in your faith rather than die in your fear. And I want to tell you how proud I am of that decision. So God bless you. Have a wonderful day. Welcome to Cornerstone Church.
Well, folks, there it is. So we're done with it. But you've got to call things for the way they are, especially when it affects the entire body of Christ. And we're trying to make a change in our country, trying to make a change in our world, which has enough problems within itself. It's a really good church. They have a really good testimony. And this was a black eye, but they will get through it. So that's it. Done with it. We do too much stuff where events and things happen. Don't tell me you didn't know what was coming. Come on. Just say it. It's just, okay. And he did. I'm done. He did. He apologized. He messed up. Whatever. But don't tell me you didn't know what was coming with that crew. So, whatever. God bless you. Love you. Write a new book. And we'll be watching. See what happens. Let me get back over here before I keep going. Today, a major thing happened in Kenosha, Wisconsin. And Kyle Rittenhouse was found not guilty on all charges. A couple of things I just want to bring to your attention on this. And I'm going to look at it from a different viewpoint. Here's the viewpoint I'm going to look at it. A, it was a win for self-defense. B, it was a win for the right to bear arms. These are good things, folks. Don't get trapped up in all the other mess. These are good things. Praise God. Thirdly, there's something I'm happy about. And that is, there are not riots taking place right now. Organizations had already said they were going to burn down Kenosha and riot and all this if the verdict came back with a not guilty. Well, they did not. And it seems that it's possible that the prayers of the saints, trying to be a good example, people getting fed up with the current status of our nation, those that are in the middle, on the fence, those that are saying, okay, I'm not really sure I like the way our nation is going, are starting to, I believe, wake up. You know, I put a picture there of, that's right after the verdict was read with Rittenhouse and his attorney. On the left there, you see Biden reacts to Rittenhouse verdict. This is what he said. The jury system works, and we have to abide by it. I'm glad he changed his hat and made that statement, because 6 months ago, President Joe Biden, God bless him, needs Jesus, made a very direct statement where he called Rittenhouse a white supremacist. But now he's changed his tune. Says, okay, the system worked. We have to abide by the jury. Listen, folks, we've got to take wins when we can get it. And this is a win. The judicial system worked. There's right now pretty much a peaceful process. The right to bear arms, the right to defend yourself, basic American values, constitutional rights were upheld. So for that, we need to say, thank the Lord. At Loving Hands Picking Up the Boys, they love it here, Nathan Wright wrote. Awesome. Yes, we have, and I think it's closing up now, Loving Hands at our Bethel Life Greenville campus tonight. So they're over there rocking and rolling. And Julia Augustine, she says, I just Googled, let's go, Brandon. I'm under a rock in Greensburg. Folks that are not from here, that's a suburb of Pittsburgh. Obviously, a very big rock. Yes, ma'am, you are under a big rock, but we're getting you out. So, folks, we'll take that as, overall, praise God. Let's rejoice when we have some positive things happen. It's good. We've got some peace. We've got some basic fundamental rights being upheld. So we're going to call it when it's bad. We're going to call it when it's good. And for that, we're thankful. Now, the House passes a massive social spending plan, more money than we spent to solve World War II. If you saw the advertisement earlier, I want to talk to you about stagflation. You've heard of inflation, you've heard of recession, but now there is a possibility of a stagflation event in our country. Stagflation is when inflation goes up. We're experiencing that, number one. Number two, it's when the GDP, or the gross domestic product, that means everything that America is doing on the business and product side, you put it all together and you add it all up, all of our companies, everything that America's about. Well, that number we want going up. Well, lower GDP, it's going down, and it is going down. Higher rate of unemployment. Not only do we have a higher rate of unemployment, we've got plenty of jobs, we also have the fact that nobody wants to work. I saw today another McDonald's down south in North Carolina hiring new employees with a sign-on bonus and $21 an hour to work at McDonald's. And the components of that are recession on the bottom left in most of the economic activities, which we're seeing. And then finally, poor implementation of government policies. So, folks, those are the 5 criteria for stagflation. So this is a real economic term. It's not inflation only. It's not a recession. It's stagflation. And stagflation is devastating to an economy. Devastating. Now, for me, I'm still, and I'm going to show you something in just a moment. I'm going to keep beating that drum, or tonight, keep beating the alien snot, and just tell you, I believe that the massive change that's going to come to our nation, the massive revival that we are looking for, an open door for the gospel to spread throughout the world quickly, is going to come as a result of a global economic crisis. That is my thesis. I think it's bearing out. I think the failure of governments, the failure of finances, the printing of money, stagflation, inflation, recessions, governments can't get along, the emergence of cryptocurrencies, the pushing down of fiat currencies. You put all this stuff together, and it's like the handwriting's on the wall. Economics are in serious jeopardy. When you see that, I believe it lines right up with end-time scripture for the things that God is wanting to do. Rick Barry, you're exactly right. Stagflation as exemplified in Venezuela. Folks, all right, Rick, are you ready to tell them the truth? Venezuela should be, sorry for that clip there. Venezuela should be Pastor David Latshaw, God bless you. Welcome to the program. Venezuela should be one of the richest nations on the planet. They have so many oil reserves, so many natural resources, but their economy is completely destroyed. Folks, it's hopeless. I mean, it's just reality. Google it yourself, look it up. It is hopeless situation. So, this massive new spending bill, this is not the infrastructure bill. The infrastructure bill's already passed. President Biden's already signed it. That's for the bridges and the roads and the other little things that they hid in there that I won't even take time to tell you. It's crazy. But now we're trying to push through this social spending bill. So, folks, you remember when they wanted like 3.5 trillion for spending? Oh, but we can't have that. So we're going to break it down and just do the infrastructure bill, which is what, 1.7, 1.2, whatever it was, trillion. Well, now they're adding on top of that the social. It's still the same 3 trillion, and it's still going to destroy our country. Absolutely. So CBN did a little clip on this today. Very good, about 3 minutes long. Check out these guys talking about this social spending plan.
After months of infighting among Democrats, the House is expected to pass President Biden's massive social spending and climate change bill, all 2,100 pages of it. Democrats expected to pass the measure Thursday, but Republican leader Kevin McCarthy took to the floor criticizing the bill on a wide range of issues for more than 8 hours overnight.
You are spending more money than we spent to solve World War II, to win it. And you're proud of it. You're championing it.
Democrats say the measure will create free pre-K, increase child care assistance, cut drug costs for seniors, and slow climate change.
As we think of all of this progress, and it's pretty exciting. This is historic. It is transformative. It will help us build back better with women and all those who had not previously had the full advantage.
The Congressional Budget Office says the bill adds $367 billion to the national debt over 10 years. But that number doesn't include possible extra money by beefing up the IRS and bringing in more money from tax evaders, which could cut the deficit down to $160 billion. And the Biden administration goes further, saying it can actually cover the entire amount with more cash from those who don't pay enough in taxes. A notion Republican Senator Bill Cassidy rejects, saying this idea that we're going to pay for it by going after tax cheats based on long experience, CBO says is not true. So if we're worried about inflation, just intuitively to me, pumping more money into this economy is going to increase the risk of stagflation. Outside estimates for the total price tag for the bill could go much higher than the Democrats' projection of $1.75 trillion. As written, the bill includes a number of ways to keep costs down, like saying some new programs would expire within a few years, even though many in Washington expect Democrats to demand they be extended, and that would drive government spending much higher if those temporary programs are made permanent. The Committee for a Responsible Budget estimates the total cost would shoot up to $4.9 trillion. It's a tough vote for Democrats in swing districts up for re-election in the upcoming midterms. Leader McCarthy says Speaker Pelosi is burning down the House on her way out the door, talking about Democrats deciding not to run for re-election.
Who can blame them for announcing retirement? They see the writing on the wall, and they know this reconciliation bill will be the end of their Democrat majority, and for many of them, the end of their congressional careers.
While Democrats say the new bill will help Americans, a Fox News poll asked people how they think the measure will affect their families. Just 27% say it will help, 31% say it will hurt, and 33% say it will make no difference at all. The bill is expected to change significantly once it gets to the Senate, where centrists like Joe Manchin are already asking questions about how much it really costs and how it will affect already high inflation hitting the country. Jennifer Wishon, CBN News.
Well, the problem with
So, folks, there you have it. That's just a quick little overview there. That guy that was speaking earlier, that is Kevin McCarthy. He is the minority House leader. As I told you, this is past the House. Now it goes to the Senate, and we'll see what happens. But that guy, McCarthy, is the minority leader. Believe it or not, he's from the state of California, from the Bakersfield area. During the video, I was showing you guys who read the 2,000 pages exactly. Nobody did. So we'll see what happens, but I can tell you this is not a really good thing. But once again, I think it's just setting us up. And when these cookies begin to crumble on the economic front, and I'm telling you right now, you haven't seen anything yet. Am I prophesying? I'm not giving doom and gloom. I'm giving reality. You haven't seen anything yet. Anything. If things do not change, if policies do not change, if money continues to be printed, you haven't seen anything yet. That's not doom and gloom. It's reality. But we have a hope. At the end of the program, I'm going to be sharing with you about that hope. Now, Ezekiel 38 update. Headline came out just before I went on the air. Will inflation drive Vladimir Putin's escalation in Ukraine? As you guys know right now, Europe is a boiling pot. Everything is not peaceful in Europe. Austria today went back into full lockdown for Charlie 20-1. Full lockdown. England and France do not have the strongest relationships right now. Great Britain Brexited. They exited the European Union. Poland and Belarus are basically having a war using humans, migrants from the Middle East. It is a very destabilized area right now. New leaders are coming in. There are transitions. Germany is transitioning. Russia has troops massing again on the Ukrainian border. Now, I have a chart here for you that shows the inflation rate, the escalation of it in Russia. It has went from 4.42 to 8.13 in October. And in November, their inflation rate is now looking to be about 11%. So what happens when you run out of resources? What happens when, look at your family. You run out of money. What do? You go get a job. You go work. You try to increase the money flow into your family. What do nations do? Well, they go to war. It's simple. If you do not have money in the coffers, if you do not have resources, and your country's out of control, you just go take it from somebody else. That's what happens. That is why Ezekiel 38, I'm telling you, economic. And we're watching it happen right before our eyes. A couple of things I want to update you on this beautiful Friday night. And that is a new revised standard version of the Bible is being released in 2022. I actually think this is a good thing. This is a standard translation from the original Tyndale to the King James Version. If you look at the headline, it kind of makes you nervous. You go, well, more than 20,000 revisions were made for the new edition, which scholars made clear was not a new translation. Folks, this is a good thing. Why do I say that? Because it updated a lot of the language in what is supposed to be the most accurate translations to the original text. Let me pop it over here. You can see this version came actually based all the way to the early 1500s, where Tyndale did his first translations into English, and he was going from the Septuagint, from Greek text, from Hebrew text, and from Aramaic text. From that, you had the King James Version, which is still out there from 1611, then the 1901 American Standard, the 1952 Revised Standard, 1989 the New Revised Standard, and 2022 the updated RSV. Now, why I like this? Here's why I like this. Because I'm appreciative of all the translations out there. I preach typically from the New King James Version, but one of the reasons I like the Revised Standard for study is because the language is trying to get as close as it can to the original texts that are still extant, E-X-T-A-N-T, which means still in existence. So these are good. Now, a lot of the modern translations, for example, The Message, Eugene Peterson, Pastor Ken enjoys preaching from the New Living Translation. These are great. They take the original language and colloquialize it, or make it a little more easy for people to read in 2021, 2022 that we're approaching. The RSV has taken this King James, and what they've done is they have updated the language. They haven't changed the translation, just updated it to make it a little bit more modern. So if you're looking out there for a good Bible to do scripture study with, this is a good one. In fact, got it right here. All of these organizations, which are huge, and I know some of these organizations have split and went different ways, but reality is African Methodist Episcopal Church, African Methodist Episcopal Zion, Alliance of Baptists, American Baptist churches in the USA, Armenian Church, Assyrian Church, Christian Church, Disciples of Christ, Christian Methodist, Church of the Brethren, Community of Christ, Coptic Orthodox, that's Egyptian, Ecumenical Catholic Communion, the Episcopal Church, Evangelical Lutheran, Greek Orthodox Archdiocese, Hungarian Reformed, International Council of Community Churches, Korean Presbyterian, which is basically a Pentecostal church, Malankara Orthodox Syrian, Martoma, Moravian, National Baptist Convention, USA, Orthodox Churches in America, Patriarchal Parishes of the Russian Orthodox Church, Polish National, Presbyterian Church, USA, Progressive National Baptist, Reformed Church in America, and the list goes on and on and on. These organizations, which I like, is global, come together with brilliant scholars and said, we need to update this a little bit. So it has been updated, and I think it's very good. So if you're looking for a good Bible to do some study on, that RSV is good, and I recommend it for you. Moving on, today was a big day. It is the end of the week. Sorry, Integrity Television, because we do the, I'm getting myself in trouble. There are rebroadcasts, and sometimes late in the hours, a show is rebroadcast, so I have to make sure I don't say live and what time it is exactly right now. So Integrity Television, whatever your time you're watching this on the rebroadcast, it's that time right now. So, but today, something very, very cool came out. I think it's cool. Biden briefly transfers power to Harris, making her the first woman in U.S. history to hold powers of the presidency. I'm actually not thinking, I'm prepared. Rick Barry, I know you're already ready to type. Guys, you know I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I hate conspiracy theories. This is why Tuesday night and tonight, I was not bashful at all to call out Cornerstone Church, San Antonio. It's a great church, but that was the wrong decision to work with that group. They're full of conspiracy theorists, whack jobs. But I don't think this is a conspiracy theory. I think this was a test run. Am I allowed to say that? Folks, we better put the hard hat on here because I'm getting ready to make a statement. That doesn't happen. A president goes in for a colonoscopy, does not transfer power to the vice president. It doesn't happen. President Trump, when he had Charlie 20-1, and he was in Walter Reed for 4 days, he did not transfer power to Mike Pence. Today, for an hour and 20 minutes, power was transferred officially. And for an hour and 20 minutes, Kamala Harris was the president of the United States. I personally believe this is a pre-run. We still have 3 years for this administration. And I'm telling you right now, I told you about Afghanistan, it would fall. I'm telling you to watch economics, they're going terrible. And I'm telling you right now, this administration is going to have some huge shakeups over the next 3 years. After the 2022 midterm elections, we're going to see a real adjustment in this administration. And I don't know what's going to happen, but when I see stuff like this, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out that there are some things going on behind the scenes. So get your hard hat on and be ready. Now, I'm going to take it a step further. And believe me, we got 12 minutes and 11 seconds together. I'm going to take it a step further. Cindy Lou, oh my word, I just figured out what Charlie 20-1 is. If I say certain words, I get taken off. That's just the way it is. Computer bots that are on, Facebook, which is now called Meta, or YouTube. It's not humans there. It's just computers. So they look for certain words. One of those is Charlie 20-1. This isn't prophecy. It's just common sense. Rick Barry, if I'm trying to be prophetic, don't you push down my propheticness. I have to believe with Rick Barry. Okay. Listen, here's a 20-year-old down in my recliner recovering from tonsillectomy. I'm surprised we didn't. I can't say that phrase either, but you can read it during that time. Okay, so here's the deal. Now, you say, okay, now, PG, listen, why on earth would you even say that? Because you hate conspiracy theories, you hate conjecture, and you always are telling us in here, run from conspiracy theories. You're telling us, you spent 2 days talking about Cornerstone Church and that mess. But now you're in here saying, be careful, this could be a commercial of what's coming. It's obvious. Why would I say that? He transferred powers for an hour and 20 minutes today. And look what happened. This was breaking news from the doctor, the medical White House physician, who was with him for the colonoscopy and for his physical for that hour and 20 minutes. And the headline, and I pulled this actually from Israel, Biden is healthy, vigorous, fit for duty, says the White House physician. There is a picture of him asleep while he was meeting with the prime minister from Israel just a few days ago. Yes. You saying, PG, why did you get that from Israel? I get all my headlines and my news from foreign sources. I don't trust any news organizations in the United States of America. Any. I look at what the other nations are saying about our country, what they're discovering, what they're investigating. This article It looks like the headline is, oh, nice, Biden's healthy, vigorous, fit for duty. No, they were making fun of him. The President of the United States, the Jerusalem Post, main page headline, tongue-in-cheek, Biden's healthy, vigorous, fit for duty as he sleeps with the Prime Minister of Israel. Folks, I sent the man out again, Bernard P. Fife.
This is what we call the deadly game. I'm in it for keeps.
I sent Bernard out this afternoon on an investigative assignment to figure out who was this doctor. Who was the doctor that did the colonoscopy? Who was the doctor that said he's healthy and vigorous and fit for duty? Folks, Barney found him. Here he is. This was the doctor today that did the colonoscopy and also did the physical evaluation. He is the one that told Biden to transfer powers. I now have figured out what is going on there. It's a boo and a cheer. Take your choice. I thought it was pretty good. Listen, folks, 7.5 minutes left together tonight. I want to finish on a couple of serious notes there. That was a good smile for tonight. U.S. removes Nigeria from religious freedom list ahead of Blinken visit. Now let's bring it back to the church world. Let's bring it back to Christians that are being persecuted around the world. Blinken, this is Antony Blinken, the Secretary of State, made an annual announcement on Wednesday of the countries on the list. Okay, and these are the lists of countries that is coming against religious freedoms, especially Christians. He named Myanmar, China, Eritrea, that's in Africa, Iran, North Korea, Pakistan, Russia, Saudi Arabia, Tajikistan, and Turkmenistan as countries of particular concern. He also placed Algeria, Comoros, Cuba, and Nicaragua on a watch list for religious freedom and designated armed groups, including Islamic State and several of its affiliates, as entities of concern. But Nigeria, which was added to the list for the first time in 2020, was not redesignated. Folks, this is incompetence at its best. The only reason Nigeria was not on the list, and that's just because he's going there to meet, I think it was today, with leaders from Nigeria there in Lagos. It's such weakness in our leadership that we're scared to call out a nation and then go visit them. Absolutely unacceptable. Ronald Reagan would have said, hey, you're tormenting and you're torturing Christians. Get your country under control. Stop tormenting people. What do? We take them off of the list and then we go visit them. And I guarantee you, when he gets back home in Washington, we're going to put Nigeria back on the list. There's another prophecy for you. So Haiti's not on the list? We're having missionaries kidnapped that we can't even get out. And you put Russia on the list? Evidently, you've never been to Russia. And I know it's a challenging place and a challenging time. But there are some really good churches that are allowed to freely meet, and they're not being tortured and killed and tormented and martyred for their faith in Russia. Nigeria right now has the highest rate of Christians being killed in the world, and you take them off the list. What a joke. It's like these people are clueless. How can you say that? So I went immediately to the watchdogs. New report says anti-Christian violence in Nigeria, highest level for years. And Christian group names Nigeria the hot spot for persecution. Check this out right here, folks. Nigeria. Here it is. What does persecution look like in Nigeria? What is the life like for Christians? More Christians are, sentence one, and this is from Open Doors USA, completely legit. More Christians are murdered for their faith in Nigeria than in any other country. Violent attacks by Boko Haram, House of Fulina Muslim militant herdsmen, ISWAP, which is Islamic State, and other groups are common in the north and the middle of the country and becoming more common every day. The highest murder rate, martyrism of Christians in the world is in the nation of Nigeria right now, and our country takes them off the list. How cowardly is that? Because we're going there to visit? Well, if you can't handle it, get in my back pocket. I'll go visit. So today I did some deeper looking, and this is what I found out. Religious Freedom Group, advocacy group, unveils the top 3 Christian persecutors of 2021. We just took them off the list. Number 1's the Taliban, murdering Christians left and right. Number 2, Boko Haram, Nigeria. And number 3, Kim Jong-un, rocket boy in the nation of North Korea. I don't understand. But if we back up and we pause for just a moment, we really can understand. You say, okay, what can we understand? Here's what we understand. We're in the last days. Doesn't take a prophet to know that. It just takes somebody that will open their eyes, read the Bible a little bit, put 2 and 2 together, and it's pretty easy. The created things are worshiped instead of the creator. What was supposed to be good is called evil, and what is evil is called good. There is absolute chaos. I mean, this is just Bible 101 for looking at the end times. Economies. I showed you stuff today. Madness. Absolute madness. But with that said, in our 2 minutes that are remaining, I want to remind you of something. Isaiah chapter 40, verse 31 says this, "But those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles. They will run and not grow weary, and they will walk and not be faint." What is the key word here? Maybe we'll make it key phrase. Those who hope in the Lord. I want to remind you tonight, with the things that we have looked at, be thankful for your church. Be thankful for your fellowship of Christian believers that you have. Be thankful for this program on Tuesdays and Fridays. We come in here, we talk about what's going on, but we've built a community from all over the country. All over the country. You may not know these people by face, but you know them by name. I look at John McElvey. You know he's from Alabama. You know Barbara Roth, Florida. Carrie Dyer, Nevada. Julia Augustine, under a rock in Greensburg, Pennsylvania. You just begin to know this. It becomes your family. Be thankful for that. Be thankful for your church. For those of you that are connected to Bethel Life here in Pennsylvania, be thankful for your church and your pastors and your leaders. But more importantly than all of that, those who hope in the Lord, no matter what you see, no matter what you hear, no matter what happens, no matter what you believe, have an opinion of, witness, doesn't matter. Your hope is in the Lord. Your hope's not in anything else but the Lord. And when you have hope in the Lord, He will renew your strength. You will soar like an eagle, run and not grow weary, and you will walk and not be faint. Folks, this has been an awesome night tonight. Thank you on Facebook, YouTube, and Integrity Television. We love you guys. May the Lord bless you, keep you, cause His face to shine upon you, be gracious to you, give you abundant peace. Be blessed, and you know what's coming. We gone!